I didn't raise my voice when I said it. If you invite him to your birthday, I'm out. Lena looked up from the kitchen counter like I'd just made an odd joke. Her phone rested beside the cake order form, the guest list already half written. She tilted her head slightly, studying me the way people do when they're deciding whether something deserves seriousness. It's just my boss, she said. The word just hung in the air. I leaned against the counter, trying to keep the conversation calm. For months, his name had slipped into our evenings. Late messages, praise during meetings, the kind of professional attention that sounded harmless but felt oddly personal. Then celebrate with your friends, I said. Your coworkers, anyone, just not him. She sighed, not angry, just tired of the topic. You're making this bigger than it is. Maybe I was, or maybe I wasn't. But something about the way she defended him, too quickly, too confidently, made the boundary feel necessary. If he comes, I said quietly, I won't stay. She didn't answer right away. She simply returned to the guest list. The conversation ended without resolution. And in its silence, I already understood the outcome. The party was louder than I expected. Music filled the living room, laughter spilling from small groups scattered around the apartment. Lena moved through it all effortlessly, greeting friends, accepting gifts, glowing with the kind of energy people carry when they feel admired. For a while, everything felt normal. Then the door opened again. I didn't need to look to know who it was. The shift in Lena's voice told me first. Oh, you made it! When I turned, he was already stepping inside. Mid-40s, confident posture, the polished calm of someone used to being respected. He carried a bottle of wine and a smile that felt slightly too comfortable in someone else's home. Lena walked straight toward him. And this, she said loudly, half laughing to the room, is my most special guest tonight. Some of her friends chuckled politely. Someone clapped. The words weren't dramatic. She probably meant them as playful, but they landed heavily. I felt the eyes of a few people glance toward me, then quickly away. I didn't confront her. I didn't say a word. Instead, I picked up my jacket from the back of the chair and stepped outside. The cool air was quieter than the party behind me. Streetlights reflected on parked cars. I stood there for a while, letting the noise fade into a dull background hum. Leaving wasn't about anger anymore. It was about dignity. After a few minutes, I walked down the street, letting the evening end without creating a scene. It was nearly midnight when the door burst open behind me. I had come back only to grab a few things before staying somewhere else for the night. Most of the guests had already left. Lena stood in the hallway, still wearing her birthday sash, her makeup slightly smudged. Her expression looked confused, tense. Before either of us could speak, another figure appeared behind her. Her boss, except he didn't look polished anymore. His face was tight, jaw rigid, phone still clenched in his hand. "What the hell happened tonight?" he demanded. The energy in the room shifted instantly. Lena blinked. "What are you talking about?" "My phone just lit up with 3 calls from legal," he said sharply. "Corporate legal." The words echoed through the quiet apartment. "They said someone recorded part of tonight and sent it to HR. Silence. I hadn't expected that. Neither had Lena. Her boss ran a hand through his hair, pacing once across the living room. "They're asking questions about workplace boundaries," he said, voice rising slightly. "About favoritism. About comments made tonight." His eyes landed on Lena again. "What exactly did you say about me in front of everyone?" Her confidence from earlier had vanished. "I was just joking," she said quietly. Apparently someone didn't think it was a joke. He looked around the room like the walls themselves might answer him. "They're reviewing it tomorrow," he added. "If this becomes a formal complaint..." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. For the first time that night, Lena looked small. Not embarrassed in a social way, but confronted by something real. Her boss exhaled slowly, frustration replacing his earlier anger. I have a career to protect, he said, softer now. So I need to understand exactly what situation I was put into tonight. The room felt colder. Lena didn't respond. She just stared at the floor. I stayed near the doorway, silent. This moment wasn't mine to control anymore. Her boss eventually shook his head, muttering something under his breath before leaving the apartment. The door closed behind him with a dull click. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Finally, Lena looked up at me. The celebration was gone from her face now. "You warned me," she said quietly. It wasn't an apology, just recognition. I nodded once. "I wasn't trying to control you," I said. "I was trying to protect what we had." She looked around the empty apartment, the leftover glasses, the decorations hanging slightly crooked. A birthday party that had started as a celebration had ended as something else entirely. Not a disaster, but a realization. Some boundaries don't feel important until the moment they collapse. I picked up my bag and moved toward the door. Lena didn't stop me. And this time, when I stepped outside, the silence felt different. Not heavier, just clearer.